Good wishes, dear students. The concept you will be learning in today's class is shapes of atomic orbitals. Now, in today's class, I will not be giving you a very detailed answers for the shapes of atomic orbital because the same concept you will be learning under chemical bonding chapter. There I have to explain to you the purpose of them falling in different axes, how are they contributing for the formation of a sigma bond, pi bond, covalent bond, ionic bond. So all those details I will be explaining to you. So in today's class, I will just give you for each orbital, that is s orbital, p orbital and d orbital, azimuthal number, quantum number and magnetic quantum number. Based on this two, how the electrons are found along the particular axis here. To start with s orbital. Now you know that for s orbital you have learned it very clearly. L is equals to 0. So many times I repeated in the previous classes. When L is equals to 0, magnetic quantum, that is M, is equals to 0. So when L is equals to 0, hence M also will be 0. That is, no orientation is possible. Hence, s orbital always represents the spherical in shape. And that's what I have written, spherical in shape. Why is it so? Because L value is 0, magnetic quantum number value is also 0. So no orientation is possible. I kept repeating the word orientation talks about px, py, pz, dxy, dyz, that is probability of finding the electron along the particular axis. Since the value is 0, no orientation is possible. So it's found in this is how the spherical shape, it touches on all the axes. You can remember it like that. So s orbital value you need to write down what shape they are representing and a non-directional. Why non-directional? No orientation is possible. And spherically symmetrical about the nucleus. They are close to the nucleus. So spherically symmetrical about the nucleus. The last point, size of the orbital depends on the n value. If n is equals to 1, only one circle will be there around the nucleus. If n is equals to 5, 5 circles will be there. And that's the point we have written. Size of the orbital depends on the n value. N stands for principal quantum number. So if they ask you, write a note on s orbital. Write down a very important point is azimuthal value and magnetic quantum number value. Give the structure, write down whether it exhibits the orientation or does not exhibit the orientation and what shape of it here, and size of the orbital depends on the n value. When we move on to p orbital, here again I have told you for p orbital L value is equals to 1. If L is equals to 1, I told you magnetic quantum number always from minus L to plus L value. If 1 is the value, you have to allot from minus 1, 0, plus 1. So meaning there are 3 possible orientation. That's what I kept on repeating as an example. Px, Py, Pz. Electron is found along the x-axis in a p orbital. Electron is found along the y-axis in a p orbital. Electron is found along the z-axis on the p orbital. In this case, no orientation because L is equals to 0. When L is equals to 1, it talks about the p orbital. P orbital has got a 3 magnetic number. Remember the formula of minus L to plus L. So 1 minus 1 to plus 1, in between 0 we've got 3 orientation. Now how do we draw the structure for it? Take the axis as a x, y, z, or sometimes some books will give you y here and z there. It's one and the same, provided you are writing the axis, naming the axis. So when I say electron is found along the x-axis, this is how p orbital has got a dumbbell shape here. So this is how the electron is found along the green color drawing you can see along the x-axis only, meaning it's found on the positive scaling and it's also found, the lobe is also found on the negative scaling here, and this stands for the point of origin 0. When you say Py, electron is found along the y-axis alone. So here again on the positive scaling and on the negative scaling. And that's what we are representing. So Px, electron is found along the x-axis alone. Py, electron is found along the y-axis alone. Pz, when you say electron is found along the z-axis. So p orbital has got a dumbbell shape. S orbital has got a spherical in shape. So Pz, remember, only on the z orbital, Py only on the y orbital, px only on the x orbital. This is how the diagram should be drawn. Few points to remember. Two lobes of each orbital is separated by a nodal plane. Now this point is called as a nodal plane. This point is called as a nodal plane and this point is called as a nodal plane. What's the meaning of nodal plane? Probability of finding the electron at this point is 0. These two have got a peaks, so these are maxima. Probability of finding the electron is maximum in this direction and 0 at the nodal point. Already you have learned that concept. The second one, each orbital's orientation is not symmetrical but have the equal energy. All the three orbitals px, py, pz, they have an equal energy but they are not symmetrical to one another. What's the meaning of symmetrical? You can place one on top of the other. If you bring this y orbital here, can we match these two orbitals with one another? No. If it comes here, the lobe will be shown up and down. And if z orbital comes, it will be shown in between. The lobes will be shown here. So that's the meaning. Each orbital orientation is not symmetrical, but they have an equal energy. And the last point, the two lobes are symmetrical only about the particular axis on which they are found. So these two lobes are symmetrical to one another because they are falling on the same axis. Here also on the same axis, only positive and a negative scaling their lobes are falling onto, but within the same axis. So they are symmetrical about their axis, not symmetrical comparing it with the next orbital. So these are the few points you need to remember in terms of p orbital. Moving on to d orbital, L value is equals to 2. So here again the formula magnetic quantum number is minus L2 plus L. So 2 you have got, allot the number from minus 1, minus 2, 0, plus 1, plus 2. So how many orientations are possible? 5 orientations are possible and they are dxy, dyz, dzx, dx square minus y square and dz square. Out of the 5 degenerate orbital, maximum electron density is found along the first 3, that is dxy axis, dyz axis and dzx axis. So that's what I have written. Electron density is more along these 3 orbital, along their axis. Now how do we represent dxy when you say? Take only 2 axes, x axis and y axis. I told you it has got a clove shape here, meaning 4 leaf shape it should get here, 4 dumbbells. Now the only point of difference is p orbital, electrons are found along the axis, meaning on the line the lobe diagram is being drawn. But if you look at it, in between the axis the lobe diagram is being drawn. So these makes up to one orbital, this makes up to another. These two stands for one axis, these two stands for another axis here. Similarly, dyz, when you say plot y axis and a z axis, here again the diagram should be equal, each lobe should be equal to one another. One pair of lobe here, another pair of lobe here. So between x and y axis electrons are found. Here also between y and z axis electrons are found. When you write dzx, here again z axis and y axis, in between the plane the lobe should be drawn. Remember, for the p orbital they fall on the line. For s orbital also they fall on all the axis here. But when it comes for d orbital, they are falling in between the axis. And you can say they are not along the axis. But when you come back for the fourth one, that is dx square minus y square, the diagram is the same, for clove shape we have to draw, but the electrons are found along the axis. X axis 2 lobes, y axis 2 lobe. Hence we are writing it as a x square minus y square. So you can say they are along the axis. Not along the axis means they are in between, not on the line. Along the axis, when you say like p orbital, the electrons are found along the x-axis and electrons are found along the y-axis. Now in a chemical bonding chapter, I will be teaching you why they are falling on the axis, why they are falling in between the axis. All those details you will learn it in chemical bonding Right now I'm teaching you only the shapes of the degenerate orbitals. The last one, dz square. Here again it's a combination of, as you wrote here, x square minus y square. Next you have a set of y square minus z square and one more set of z square minus x square. When we put together, a chemical bonding chapter I'll be teaching you, we get a particular shape, that is dumbbell on the x-axis and a kind of ring at the nodal point here. So this is the structure for a dz square. I'm repeating again more about why this particular structure, how this particular structure is being brought. I will be teaching you in the 7th chapter. So all you need to remember is the different types of shapes that is possible. S orbital, spherical in shape. P orbital, dumbbell in shape. D orbital is clove in shape here. Clove shape they have got. About F orbital, you do not learn in the higher secondary. When you go to your, higher studies, BSc or MSc level, you will, for the degree courses, you will be learning about F orbital. About P, S and D orbital, I will be teaching you in the 7th lesson. Thank you.